Hi Capricorn, welcome to your July reading. Okay, so we're going to do astrology first, and then we're going to shuffle the cards with the camera overhead so you can see them. It's the new setup. I'm really excited, so I hope you like it. Let's get to the astrology first. On July 5th, Mars enters Taurus. So what does that mean for you? Well, you're more adventurous, you're more honest, but you're also opening yourself up for a period of chaos, which is actually really positive because there is some chaos coming. And it can all be pretty fun and tame as far as chaos goes. It's not hurtful in any way, is what I mean. It's all positive stuff. But opening yourself up starting on the 5th is a really good idea. So if you're starting to get some risky ideas, or if you want to take an impromptu vacation, or if you want to just go out and get wild one night, that's all Mars and Taurus energy starting on the 5th. Go with it, indulge it, let yourself be more adventurous, let yourself break limits that you've had for yourself for a long time. You're freeing yourself because I think you realize that a lot of your limits had to do with doubt. And when doubt is removed, right, when that self-doubt is gone, the confidence that takes its place it's amazing. It's really a marked difference, and you start to feel it right away on the 5th. So that freeing yourself, it has many faces, and the first one that you will see, when you first remove the doubt, the first thing that you'll feel is this kind of openness and adventurous, and being adventurous. So go and follow that instinct. Between the 27th of July and the 11th of August, we have North Node and Uranus conjunctions going on in a conjunction. And for you, what that means is that something takes you out of the world and forces you into a space, either with a person, in a relationship, a job, whatever it is, that you need to think on your feet, and you really can't rely on any of your old tricks, and you can't phone it in. You need to figure out how to deal with this thing without any sort of referential knowledge, and it teaches you something about yourself. And it also, again, heightens your self-esteem, because you realize that this is something that you can handle. And it also gives you a little bit of perspective on how much you can handle, because you can be so safe in your life sometimes, most of the time, that you don't get a chance to test how great you are in a moment of crisis, or in a moment where you're not controlling everything that's going on around you. So it's nice to have that check-in and know that even when everything is completely outside of your control, you're still able to handle things very, very well, and you're extremely capable. Because there are times when you can feel like perhaps you're as capable as you are because you're in control of everything. And that's just not true. It's much more than that. Your capability is far beyond just being organized and having the ability to control the narrative. You are very quick thinking. You are very intelligent. You are quite ruthless if you need to be, which is a great thing. And you may get a chance to engage with all of those qualities in July. Regardless, you come out feeling really, really strong, and that strength, it propels you for the rest of the month, where you just feel great about yourself, and you feel capable, and you feel like, yeah, you can handle stuff. That's all self-esteem is, a measure of how capable you feel as a human being. If you are married, things get really, really good. It's been a while. Your partner is open to healing. You're open to healing. You're open to reconnecting. It's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful summer. Mashallah, enjoy yourself. Be as flexible as you can at work and let people be. They are not handling certain things as well as you. Mars and Taurus, a lot of people are not handling well. As soon as we get to the 27th and we have the North Node Uranus conjunctions, people are not handling that well at all. And then on the 28th, you have Jupiter going retrograde, so things aren't working as properly as they should. People are making mistakes even though they're really not doing anything wrong. And so to get upset with people or lose your temper with people would be unfortunate right now. What is that? It's like a helicopter right overhead. Anyway, okay, welcome to New York City. All right, now on the 17th, work gets really good and projects come back around. So if there's something out there that you really wanted to do and feel like you missed out on, you're going to get another crack at it. So just be prepared for that. And when it does come back around, you don't have to do anything this time to have it come to you. You just wait and have it come to you. don't do anything proactive when it comes to money until after the 18th. Things are stalled and they're just not going to work very well until after the 18th anyway. So start your work, whatever you need to do after the 18th, so on the 19th. You may be trying to get all the fun energy to keep your heart, you may be trying to get into all this fun energy to keep your heart afloat and not think about things. And this can lead to really, really risky behavior, and it can actually lead to accidents. So what do I mean by that? That's how I have it written out in my notes. So the next thing I have written out, which explains what I mean, is be careful and cry it out instead of taking it out on yourself and self-sabotage. So it's easy when there's all this fun, adventurous energy to be, tapped into, to use it to forget about our pains and our sorrows and perhaps things that we really need to deal with. So this is not a time where we should forget about the things that we really need to work on, and it's not a time to sublimate your pain just because there is fun to be had. And if you do so, if you just lean right into the fun and really don't take care of any of your emotional needs, then it's very possible that fun, adventurous energy can turn on you and turn into really risky behavior that you're actually using to sabotage and using to ignore what's going on and what needs to be dealt with. Okay, because think about how that sabotage works. You're going to sabotage because there's a part of you that feels like you don't even deserve this happiness or this adventure or this feeling of freedom. So you see why it's so important to get to the root of it, and you're able in Cancer season to do so, which is wonderful. Okay, now you're able to feel it in Cancer season, but you don't really identify it until the 28th when Jupiter goes retrograde, which is in Leo season. And then you can really think about the things that are bothering you. They come up and you have to deal with them during the Jupiter retrograde. So before the Jupiter retrograde, let's say July 1st until the 28th, you're really just feeling the feels and prepping yourself for what you're going to have to be working on in depth as of the 28th. So you realize how steep of a drop off, what a cliff that's going to be if you spend the 1st to the 28th just having fun with this energy and sublimating everything else and not thinking about it and not dealing with it, and then all of a sudden Jupiter goes retrograde and then you have to feel everything and think about it and deal with it. That's a lot. That's too much. So we want to be cognizant, even as we're having fun, even as we're having a great time, to check in with ourselves and how are we feeling and what's going on and what are the thoughts that keep recurring, and do you need to meditate for a few minutes every day? Do you need to pray? Do you need to bathe? Do you need to do, salt bath? Do you need to smudge your house? What do you need to do to feel yourself taken care of, feel yourself acknowledged, your needs being checked in with? What do you need to happen right now? What is it from the past? What is it from the near past or the far past that's still triggering you, that still hurts you, that still bites at you? All of this Jupiter retrograde wants you to deal with. So of course, if you spend the better part of the month ignoring all of that, then it's going to be really painful. It's going to be like hitting a wall. But if you're not ignoring it and you're embracing it, and through this adventure and through this fun, you're maybe getting some of this stuff out, that would be wonderful. Things can get wild very quickly and stay crazy throughout the month. It's not you, but you got to adjust and ride these waves. Okay. So we know that Cancer season is wild. And we know that if you are a Capricorn rising, Cancer season sits across from you. I don't know what just happened there. We know that Cancer sits across from you. With everything that's going on planet-wise in Cancer, we have Venus, we have Mercury, we have the Sun, and then everything moves into Leo. It can get very tumultuous. Emotions are all over the place. You can lose your temper very easily. You can jump to conclusions very easily. You can also be, wrapped up in the passion of love and reconnection, and you can love your job and love making money. So there's many ways that this crazy energy can go, and you can really direct it. And you have a lot of agency over what happens to you in July, as long as you're willing to accept the fact that no matter what you're doing, there is an undercurrent that needs to be dealt with. There is an undercurrent of emotions that need to somehow be dealt with and got out. If we can agree there, then the month is sublime, actually, because it's so much fun. And you're not hiding from anything. You're not running from anything. You're actually just facing stuff. But everything else we can talk about while we shuffle and look at some cards. Love you. Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your July reading. So Mars moved into Taurus yesterday and they turned the Hadron Collider on. What, you thought I wasn't going to bring it up again? Doesn't matter though. It's a time for adventure for you. Time for having fun. Time for letting yourself take some unusual roads. See what you find. You know what they say about traveling alone, right? Raises your self-esteem because you realize that you can do it. I realize the opposite is true as well. When you do things too much with other people, you start to think that maybe you can't do things on your own. Things that you used to do on your own all the time. And actually, I feel like it can have a detrimental effect on your self-esteem. Now, you're all about doing things on your own, in your own way, figuring out the new things you've never done before, and gaining some real power. I like it. The power that comes from you going out there and not being prepared for the thing because you don't even know what you're dealing with. It's the adventurous part for you is not being able to somehow be an expert in it before you get there. You're just, it's something that just happens to you. Adventure is just happens upon you. You can't prepare for it. And that's the most exciting part, is that you can't prepare for it. And it really ends up, without you realizing it, maybe testing you and showing you, more importantly, what you're made of. Because you can prepare the heck out of anything. And then it kind of is like, yeah, am I really that good, or did I just do the work that the other guy didn't do? I'm not saying you all think it. I'm just saying it could be thought. Right? But what if you can't prepare? And what if you can't prepare and you kill it? And you have some deep emotional insight because of it. Maybe it washes away something deep, painful. Maybe it replaces it with something beautiful. Maybe part of what's so great about feeling capable and doing things that raise our self-esteem is that bit by bit we can identify and replace the parts of us that may have been taken away. And we can replace them with something of our choosing, of our liking, to our, trigger word for Capricorns, to our customization. Oh yeah, you guys love it. Oh yeah. My brother, did you know they just, you can like change the sea color? Like you can get, yeah. You got it. I got it. What if you can? And for some of you, this will happen in the cocoon of a marriage, this healing. For some of you, this will happen within the cocoon of your hermit cave. But all of you will feel the sun across from you on your axis. And then it's like, Venus comes and Mercury, and they're like, wow. It's a lot. But it's all across from you. It's all just celebrating and winning and money and finding your place in the world and not feeling out of place anywhere and feeling like you have made what you've made of yourself, the way you've done it on your own, on your terms, listening to your deeper self. So yeah, it's a rebirth, but it's not the kind of rebirth that most people go through in Cancer season, where they get demolished and then they have to like build themselves back up. No, this is something else. This is like you got to the top of the mountain and decided that now you want to be an eagle and now you want to soar. You know, you were a goat, you got to the top of the mountain, and now you're like, I'm ready for the next one. I want to go higher, because the momentum that you pick up, especially when we get to Leo season, with you're just winning. I don't know how to put it. Like, you know yourself, when you get on these, you work really, really, really hard, and then it like pays off. Like, I know you guys' pattern, and you're about to hit that again. Your pupils, your animal associated with you, the goat, your pupils are square so you can detect the snakes on the ground and cut down on the glare from the sun and the sky. Snakes in the grass is not your thing, and you can spot them, baby. Your eyes are designed for it. So when you have this rebirth and you start to soar like an eagle, do not forget that your skepticism about people is what has gotten you so stable and gotten so much ruckus out of your life and created so much space and so much peace, in which you and your feelings have been given the time and space and freedom, and your money. Excuse me. Mashallah, it's like, and your money has been given time and space to grow and become who they really are. Regardless of what age you're at. You've worn a mask for a long time. And that mask was there to protect you. That mask was probably there to keep you invisible. When we don't want to be seen, or we can't be seen in our childhood, because that's the only way to be safe. Which means what? Can't be seen. You have no needs. You don't make a sound. You don't complain about anything. You don't have feelings. You don't have emotions. You make yourself invisible. You can't even begin to know how many different ways in your adult life you are still, listen to me, making yourself invisible. Some, sure. Some maybe you figured out. But this thing, it runs deep. And to me, it feels like the success is what brings it up for you. You know, when things are down, you don't have time to think about this bullshit. Like the feelings and the this and the past and the trauma, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, we got to get going. Like, we need to make this money. What the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? But for you guys, it's like once you have reached a certain level of success, maybe you finish an education, maybe you got a promotion, maybe something happened in a capacity where your accomplishments were lauded and applauded and recognized, and more than that, you feel a deep sense of accomplishment. Funnily enough, it's when you feel that you allow yourself a moment to feel. Because it's like, okay, I think I have a little bit of time for this right now. I think I can pencil this in. And when you do, all this stuff comes out, but it's like so great because it's like, I only have time for this, you know, get it all out. And you can. Deep healing. You know, because you just feel so good that it's like some of the stuff from your past, it just doesn't stick. It's not logical anymore. You know, it's one thing to like be abusive or manipulative to a Capricorn. Maybe they'll go along with you for a while. But when it starts to not make sense, it's like, you're losing me. Okay, you called me a piece of shit. I was with you there for a minute. But now you're saying crazy shit. Like, I'm not all the things you just said. Like, you're losing me. You're going a little too far. So it's... Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't make sense of some of the things that you used to believe about yourself, or that maybe you still believe about yourself. You can't reconcile them with the success and accomplishment and the sense of achievement that you feel. The two things, there's like too much cognitive dissonance here. The two things do not mix. Like, for example, if you were told all through childhood, or if you were, let's take the seen unseen thing. If you were in such an explosive, strange, chaotic environment that the best thing that you could do was be invisible, and now you're getting accolades and being praised and being promoted, and it's gonna feel strange because you've spent your life trying to be invisible. But you've accomplished things that have now made you visible. So this is, you see how the trauma is going to come up. And that's just how Cancer season is. It's how Cancers are. It's like, we'll find a way to get to the trauma. You know, the wet water. You know how water is. Water is just so annoying. It'll just get in everywhere. You spill something, you watch it. You watch how water goes. It goes in all the cracks. Goes in everything. You're just like, ah. That's what it's doing to you. And you're like, ah. But it's okay, because it's really good, because okay, so the worrisome or the confusion would come if you weren't aware of this. If you were just like feeling great and had like enormous sense of accomplishment, and then you're also like, but these things are coming up and I don't know why. Because you know what it is? The easiest way I can explain this to you is you know when you're worried about somebody and you're calling them and you can't get them on the phone? And you just get angrier and angrier and angrier and angrier and angrier. And then you finally speak to them and then they're fine. And then you start crying. Because you let yourself... See, before that moment, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what could be up. You're imagining the worst, God forbid. So you don't have time to have feelings. That's how you guys feel when the money situation is not right. You don't have time for this right now. Yeah, it could be true. It might be true. But you know what? Right now, we gotta go. I'm not living like this. Okay? So, when you get the phone call from the asshole you've been trying to reach for like whatever, however many hours, minutes, however you work, however you roll, and they're fine, you know, your child, your sibling, your lover, it doesn't matter, your family member, you're just like, what the fuck, where were you? I was so worried, you know? Then you start to feel the emotions, all that anxiety and fear and worry and sadness of what might have happened, what could have happened, oh God, what's going on? Then it comes up, right? Same thing here. You've gotten the phone call back. You got the phone call. Everything's fine. I don't know if you noticed, Capricorn. It's one of my favorite jobs in the whole world is doing this shit. I don't know if you noticed, but you made it. I love being the one that like is like just tapping you on the shoulder, like, hey, before you run off on the next you know, on the next adventure, before you run off to find another hill to conquer, another mountain to climb. Yeah, you made it, just by the way. Okay, let me tell you just real quick. You know, I always tell you a story about my brother. Okay, let me tell you. This shit is ridiculous, okay? This shit, like, really fuck with me. Honestly, like, no. I'm gonna tell you this, and it really fuck with me, and you just tell me how this is not the most fucking Capricorn thing you've ever heard in your life. I randomly, on a plane, was like, oh my God, I'm not going to have service and this plane sucks and I hate being on this little regional flight and I just want something to do. And I love shoot 'em up games. I'm a product of the video game generation for sure, right? I'm Gen X. So I randomly download a game. It's called Alien Shooter. I start playing it. I love it. I'm like thinking like, you know, after the flight is over, I'm still playing it. A couple of days later, I'm still playing it. I'm starting to think like, you know, I'm pretty good at this game. Like, I'm getting very good at this game. Okay? I'm starting to like feel myself a little bit. Like, oh, you know, like Deepu, my brother, we call him Deepu, that's his nickname. Like Deepu, like he's always like talking about like he's like the best, you know, the best at video games. Oh, the best. Oh, there's no video game Deepu hasn't beaten. Oh, ah. It's true. It's just the way, you know, it's the vibe. I'm giving you the vibe. Vibes. I'm giving you the vibes. That's why he don't like the vibes, you know, because the vibes be telling on you. If I'm like, whoa, wah, you know, he knows it's true. It's the vibe. That's why he's hating on the thing. Everybody knows it's true, including you guys. Okay, so randomly I go downstairs, but I'm like I said, like, okay, when I started to feel like I was like good at this game, I started playing it a lot because I have like very, very severe neurodivergence. I have very severe ADD. So they help me, you know, video games help me. So I went down to my brother's apartment and I happened to be playing the game because I was just like playing it all the time. So even though I was at their house, I was like sitting there playing it. That's how much I was playing it. And my nephew walks by and he goes, "Oh, you play that game too?" And you know, I gotta tell you, there was a part of me that knew it before he said it, but I still couldn't have prepared myself for it. And I feel like that's how people feel about Capricorns in general. It's like, I know before you tell me that it's gonna be some like next level ill shit, but then when I hear it, I'm still like, that is some next level ill shit, you know? Like, I knew it was gonna be, but you still shocked me. You went above and beyond my expectations, and you guys always look at me like, yeah. And you're like, and I'm always like, ah! Win! Yes! Touche! So, yeah. I knew it. I was like, but I didn't know it. I couldn't have been prepared for this shit. Okay, wait, listen. Listen. He goes, my nephew goes, "Oh yeah, my dad plays that game. You know, he was the best in the world." And then my other nephew pipes up, the Virgo, the Cancer is the one that said it. The Virgo nephew pipes up. He goes, "Actually, Puppy, Puppy means sister of your dad in Punjabi." He goes, "Actually, Puppy, he's right. Like, it's actually like true. Like, it's a fact. They had like this tournament, and he was like the best in the world, like number one." And I just looked at the both of them, and I was just like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then his wife walks by and is like, "Oh, your brother plays that game. I think he was like the best in the world." Yeah, you're right. You're all right. How could I think that I could randomly pick something up and think that I would be good at it? Okay? And start to think that I could maybe, just for a second, I thought, like, maybe. Because there was this, tell me, if I told you this story before, I'm sorry, but there was this one game, Kinetica, where you had to dance to create energy. Not dance for real, to make the robot dance to create energy to keep going. Like kinetic energy, get it? Kinetica. And I was better at that game than him because that game was intuitive. But that's the only time. So I thought this was another one of those times and I was going to be like, yeah, no. And then I asked him about it. And he was just like, "Oh, yeah." "Hey, I heard that you were the best in the world." "Oh, yeah." That, like, already on to the next, you know, goats, they just, like, run away. They just, like, but now you're not a goat. Now you're an eagle. Now you're flying, mashallah, flying high. Remember who you are. Remember who you are when you start flying high like that. Remember to check in with your feelings. Remember that when you have these big successful plateaus is when the feelings come, and you cannot be angry with yourself for that, and you cannot judge yourself for that. That's not the time. You should be like, I know you're like, this is when I should be enjoying it. No, this is the time when you heal. When you finally have time to not watch the clock and just be for a second. Let this stuff come up. Let it talk to you. Let your heart talk to you. Let your mind talk to you. Let it fill in some gaps for you now that you feel good and you feel like there's some big thing here that you accomplish. Something you've been working on for so long. And it gives you a sense of belonging and a sense of, dare I say, community that you've never had. A sense of security. Maybe that's a better way to put it. There is a net under you now. Mm-hmm. And it's enough. This net is what I'm trying to say is that this net, it can hold you. You won't fall through it. You made it. You made it. Okay? Don't take my word for it, because I know that's like, you can't do that. You made this net. You were allowed to lay down in it and just take a breath. Hey, maybe, here's an incentive, maybe I'll come up with an even better net. Maybe if you take a second and heal and let the rest of Cancer season just let the waves beat the fuck out of you, and get here. Maybe you'll figure out a way to do this that you'll never need a net again. Maybe you'll figure out a way to keep those eagle wings. Never come back down. When a Capricorn gets past the climb and the struggle. My God, how you bloom. Then that's when you look around at everybody else and go, rich people have no taste. Because when a Capricorn get money, that's taste. Then you're like, these people have no taste. Look what this bitch did with money. Like, yeah. Then you guys bloom. Some people don't know how to handle being wealthy, how to handle being successful. You're born for it. You've been waiting for it your whole life. And as counterintuitive as it may sound to you, maybe taking a beat, looking around and being proud of yourself, letting all the fear and anxiety you've been holding back and waiting for that phone call, let it come up, let it come out. No one will see it. Everyone's drowned in saline. No one will notice. Get it all out. A leaf just fell off my money tree that needed to fall off. It was taking too much water from the other plant, the other leaves. I'm going to let this stuff go. It's just going to make room for more success and more money and a stronger net. And seriously, hopefully, a pair of wings. A pair of wings that means you never got to land, you never got to climb, you never got to struggle again. Imagine what you can do psychologically once that sinks in. Imagine what you can do with your time, with your intellect. It's exciting, right? Good. Be excited. This is exciting. But remember, everything is across from you now. Pulling, pulling, pulling. It's not easy, but damn, is it worth it. Mashallah, mashallah. So proud of you. I have to say that. I don't say it more often because it would just sound redundant. But the way that you have worked through, pushed through, survived, thrived in spite of. Mashallah, it's so impressive. It's such a joy to watch. You know, cause for me, when I see people do it, really do it, cause you guys really do it. When you do it, you really fucking do it. When I see people do it, all I feel is inspired. Cause I'm like, look, they could do it. I could do it too. Never ever in my life for 1 second have I thought, I wish I could have what they got. I don't even know how you get what you get. I could never even handle what you get because I don't know how to do the work to get where you get. If someone just gave me whatever you guys got, it would drown me because I didn't do anything to get there. You know what I mean? Like, only the person who's done the work to get there knows how to handle that level of whatever they're doing. Like, you have worked this masterfully and patiently and quietly, and even when you misstepped, you have found a way to come back and come back strong. And like I said, it's a joy to watch. It is so deeply inspiring. And that's really, I think, your favorite job. Is to be that patriarch, is to be that head of the table that says, look what's possible. And so in more ways than one, I feel like you're finding great satisfaction in July and August. It feels good to be alive. Mashallah, mashallah. I'm so proud. All right. The extended. The easiest way is Patreon. Because you subscribe and then you get it in your inbox. The early part 1, which was out like 4 or 5 days ago. This one, the extended, as they are done, they're uploaded immediately and you get them right away. Way before they're uploaded anywhere else. The second option is Vimeo. You can just buy the extended there. And if you would like a live video chat reading, we're doing them on July 11th. There's a link for that. If you would like a video recorded reading sent to you in your inbox, there's a link for that below as well. And then there are a slew of tickets for the Summer of Revolution tour, which is going from LA, inshallah, tomorrow, which is sold out, to Denver on the 9th. Tickets available to August 14th in New York, August 19th in London, August 27th in Miami, and maybe even the Bay in the first week of September. The fun thing is tickets are on sale for everything except LA, because LA is tomorrow and it is sold out. But if you would like to attend the LA one, because there is going to be a special guest, and the venue is super cool. It's very it lends itself to online viewing. It's like this big black void space with like screens. It's so dope. You can purchase tickets to watch the event on live on Zoom, and it will be moderated by Nicola, and you can ask him questions, etc., etc. You know how we do on the Zooms. So all of those links, everything is below, or you can go to Eventbrite and put in the Quietest Revolution, and all the events will come up, and all the online tickets and everything else. All right, let's get into your extended right now. Love you.